There's something incredible about this planet we live on. Sometimes, when I catch myself staring out of a window or scrolling through photos of places I've never been, I'm reminded of how unbelievably vast and diverse the world truly is. Most of us spend our lives in one small corner of it, in our cities, our routines, our predictable days, and we forget that somewhere out there, beyond the noise and the rush, exist places so breathtaking that they almost feel unreal. And I think that's what draws me to exotic destinations. Not just the beauty, but the sense of wonder they awaken in you. The feeling of stepping somewhere far from everything familiar and suddenly realizing how much more there is to life than what you see every day. It's a humbling feeling, and at the same time, incredibly freeing. Whenever I think about the world's most exotic places, I think first about how different each one feels the moment you arrive. There's a shift in the air, a different rhythm, a sense that life here has its own heartbeat. In Oman, for example, that heartbeat is slow, ancient, and wise. The desert stretches endlessly in every direction, its dunes shifting like waves frozen in time. When you walk there, you don't hear silence, you hear depth. Every grain of sand carries stories older than any civilization. And at night, when the sky opens up and reveals more stars than you knew existed, you feel tiny in the most beautiful way. There's something grounding about that, something that reminds you that your worries are much smaller than they seem. Cape Verde, on the other hand, has a heartbeat that feels warm and rhythmic, like the ocean itself is humming a song. Life flows gently there. You can sit on a beach with black volcanic sand under your feet, listening to guitars playing somewhere in the distance, and suddenly feel like you've belonged there forever. People laugh easily, speak softly, and treat you like family even if they met you 2 minutes ago. And the sunsets, they glow in colors that don't even feel real. Then there are the Philippines, a place so full of life that it feels like the earth turned up its saturation. Water so blue it almost glows. Beaches so bright they can blind you. And the people, probably the kindest you'll ever meet. Everywhere you go, you're greeted with warmth and joy. Small villages where children run barefoot, big cities buzzing with energy, mountains covered in mist, islands scattered like jewels across the ocean. It feels like 20 countries compressed into one. Vietnam pulls you into its chaos in the most captivating way. You step into the streets and suddenly the world becomes louder, brighter, more alive. Scooters rushing past, food sizzling on street corners, ancient temples standing proudly between modern buildings. And then there are the quiet places, the rice terraces, the lantern-lit rivers, the foggy mountains of the north. Vietnam is a place of contrasts, but somehow everything fits together perfectly. Thailand feels almost enchanted. Temples shine in the sunlight, monks walk barefoot through the streets, and jungles whisper stories when the wind blows. The islands look like they were painted with a brush dipped in paradise. And the food, no matter where you go, from street vendors to restaurants on the beach, tastes like magic. You can feel the spirituality in the air, the peacefulness woven into daily life, even when the world around you gets busy. Mexico is wild in the best way. It's a country where ancient ruins stand proudly as reminders of civilizations that came and went long before us, where music spills from every doorway, where colors cover every wall, and where the food, well, the food feels like a celebration of life itself. And every region has its own story, its own flavor, its own soul. Mexico isn't just a place, it's an experience that follows you home. Cuba takes you straight into another time. It's one of the only places on Earth where the past and present blur into one. Old cars rolling down the street, buildings with peeling paint that still somehow radiate charm, musicians playing on every corner. It feels raw, honest, alive. You walk through Havana and you don't just see history, you feel it breathing around you. The Dominican Republic is pure joy turned into a country. Palm trees swaying in the warm wind, turquoise waves hitting the shore, locals dancing like every moment is a celebration. There's something contagious about the energy there. It makes you want to slow down, smile more, breathe deeper, and forget the noise of the world. Zanzibar smells like spices long before you even see the markets where they're sold. Stone Town is a maze of narrow alleys where every corner hides a new story. Doors carved with incredible detail, mosques calling out in the afternoon, merchants selling saffron, vanilla, cloves, all blending into a scent you can't forget. And then the beaches, the kind that make you stop talking mid-sentence because your brain is too busy trying to comprehend the beauty in front of you. Mauritius feels like nature handcrafted the island with love. Mountains shaped like giant waves, waterfalls hidden deep in green forests, coral reefs surrounded by glowing turquoise water. It's a place where the scenery shifts every few kilometers, from tropical beaches to volcanic landscapes to fields of sugarcane stretching endlessly toward the horizon. Mauritius makes you feel calm, deeply, quietly calm. Seychelles is almost unreal. Massive granite rocks that look sculpted by gods, beaches so untouched they feel sacred, and tropical forests so lush the air feels alive. It's one of those rare places where silence becomes a gift. You walk on the sand and it's so soft it feels like flour beneath your feet. And the water, clear, gentle, and warm, like it's welcoming you into another world entirely. Bora Bora is simply astonishing. You wake up in a hut floating above turquoise water, look out at the mountains rising sharply from the center of the island, and feel like you're in a dream. Everything there feels exaggerated. The colors, the calmness, the sense of space. It's a place where worries dissolve as easily as footprints in the sand. But nothing compares to the Maldives. The moment you step onto one of those tiny islands, surrounded by endless ocean in every direction, your mind goes quiet. Not because there's nothing to think about, but because the beauty overwhelms you in the gentlest possible way. The Maldives teaches you the meaning of the word paradise. The glowing plankton that lights up the water at night. The way each island feels like a private world. The softness of the sand, like powdered sugar. It's not just a location, it's an emotion. And when you finally step back and reflect on all these places, you start to realize something profound. Travel is not about distance, it's about depth. It's about allowing yourself to feel small, feel vulnerable, feel amazed, feel alive. These exotic destinations aren't just items on a bucket list. They are reminders of what it means to be human, to explore, to wonder, to connect with people who live differently, think differently, speak differently, and still somehow make you feel understood. Travel shows you that the world is full of beauty you'll never find if you stay in one place. It teaches you that joy can come from simple things: a sunset, a conversation, a new taste, a quiet morning on a beach far from home. It shows you that every culture has something to teach you, and every journey has the power to change you. And when you come back home, you realize that you carry pieces of those places inside you: the sound of waves, the warmth of strangers, the colors of sunsets, the feeling of being weightless in the ocean. These aren't just memories. They're reminders of the kind of life we're capable of living, one filled with wonder, gratitude, and a deep appreciation for the world we share. That's why these exotic places matter. Not because they're far away, but because they bring us closer to nature, to humanity, and to ourselves.